gentlemen. Welcome to the Solution Podcast. It's a real estate podcast where we talk about the fact that it's time to put the consumer first in real estate. I'm Phil Sexton and my co-host Jeff Seabach.
Hey, how are you doing?
Welcome to the party, Jeff.
Yeah.
So I thought today we would take
stuff.
the tone of the sweaty balls ladies from Saturday Night Live, where they talk like this.
Okay, I think that's a great idea.
Yes.
It's going to be a great show.
Actually, I'm very excited for episode 53.
I mean, are we going to take a look back?
Well, we could take a look back at
we're going to move forward.
Different guests, but we're actually going to take a look at one of the examples that we have right now where we feel it helps explain the difference between what we're talking about from putting consumers first in real estate compared to what many of our guests talk about relating to the customer experience.
Yeah. I mean, I actually reached out to Inman too because it is clear that I don't know that putting the consumer first is clear, right? And I appreciate all our guests and helping us clarify that. And I think that we want to, because there's a big difference that I feel that the customer experience is still vastly needed in massive ways. And there's treating the customer better and treating them righteous and all that stuff. But then there's another level of going and putting their interests ahead of your own.
I'll go, let's say, going beyond profitability.
Sure.
Going beyond the business metrics of a normal organization and getting into the heart of the clients, which I think is kind of ties into today's story.
Right. Things that we heard out of Tommy Choi and things that we heard out of Kenny Kloss in trying to educate, but then also even help and assist in ways that are really to help the consumer
achieve their goals.
I mean, it's achieving our goals as well, but maybe at a sometimes less profitable manner than as.
So we have so the story today. I'd like to just kind of ask you a few questions about the story.
Dive on in.
I say that we dive on in because this is it, and then
this is the defining moment where we're going to explain what really putting the consumer first in real estate means.
That's right.
Yeah, let's get it. Oh,
I like the fire. I like the fire.
Oh, down here. Okay, good.
All right. So, first of all, we get a referral from an agent in Northern Arizona. He's got a client who has from
a different brokerage, even.
Yes. So that agent sends us a referral because he works with the daughter, and the mother owns a house in Phoenix, and she needs to sell the house. Therefore, you and, was it Elise? You and Elise on our team go over to the house.
Our neighborhood expert.
In the area. Go over to her house to strategize on what's the best way to help her achieve her goals, a.k.a. sell her house. Now, did she say she wanted to sell her house for more money, for less hassle, or for the least amount of time?
Sellers don't talk that way.
Oh.
Let's just be honest. That's real estate speak. We're on the solution. It's targeted towards realtors, right? But sellers don't talk that way.
Well, so what did she say?
She said, I need to get 190.
And what do you think her house was worth as is?
170.
She needed to get 20 above value.
Yeah, she had, I'd like to give you a little bit of background, right?
I'd like it.
Yeah, okay. So we get there, and Elise had informed me that the seller's daughter was going to be there because she had been a teacher for almost 40 years.
The seller or the daughter?
The seller was a teacher.
The seller was a teacher.
Yeah. So, you figure she's been a teacher for 40 years. Maybe she's not a millennial.
Right.
She's been teaching longer than millennials have been alive.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. So we knew that she was, what we like to call an empty nester, right? Because the daughter lived in another city, daughter moved out. And that her daughter had been, or the seller had been through a lot, but the daughter lives in northern Arizona, maybe outside Williams or something like that. And the daughter has been coming down to help mom out. Maybe mom's not feeling that great. And it's been trying on on the daughter because she lives and works inside the Grand Canyon, and she actually was telling us a story that she gets up at 4:00 in the morning and she gets on a bus because that was the first thing that we talked about because I was like trying to understand the story, and she's like, I gotta help mom get out. We're worried that the it's been going up for a while, and finally we think we're close enough. And when I looked at the comps and I got to the house and I was like, we need a little more
something.
We need a little more market appreciation. Right. So, but she was like, she seemed tapped, right? Because she said she rides a bus from, I don't know, a little over an hour and a half to get to work. And then she works 4 10s inside the Grand Canyon. She gets home at night between 6:30 and 7. And because she has to get up at 3:00. She has to go to bed at like 8 or 9.
So this is the daughter that's talking about what her weekly life is like.
Yeah,
so that she can then. It's hard for her to find time to come down and take care of her mom. I mean,
but she's been doing this for the last 10 years or so, having to come down every other weekend because her mom doesn't. Her health is decaying, and she needs to.
I just think that a lot of real estate agents can relate to the aging parent story. Because as we had Jessica Lautz on air, and she said that the average real estate agent is mid-50s. In your mid-50s, your parents are now, let's say, plus 20 years, mid-70s, into the 80s. I think that that's a relatable thing. We see it in transitions of people moving to and from Arizona to get further from.
We're going to list almost
150
kids. Houses this year, and there's a lot of them that are empty nesters and older parents, and this is a story that why I wanted to bring it to the solution, because it's a real, we're all experiencing these type of concerns. I mean, mostly because the house was not I could tell there was financial stress, right? When I show up in a house and there's...
Is deferred maintenance a good word there?
I think it would be a picture under deferred maintenance. When you Google deferred maintenance, would be the house when we arrived.
Okay.
Right? So kind of like the house is almost not when, like, kind of like in the short sale area when you show up after they've been not paying rent for 2 years and they stop caring about the house. But not mom loved the house. The house, she loved it. It was just, mom seemed like she was scraping,
spending money to keep things up to date.
Well, no, she was trying to keep it, but she did not have the the downturn has forced this situation a lot, is because she had bought the house and then she, had paid it down. But then as she's holding on to the house starts to fall apart, right? Like the roof starts to leak, and she had plumbing issues that she had to repair. And then of course the solar guy took advantage of her. I mean, the solar guy sold her a, 30-year lease and I was like, I don't know that he was putting the consumer first.
Right.
I think he was trying to sell a lease system, and he did. He won, right? So,
didn't you say, so it's crazy to me that the house value at $170, and you said that the plumbing repair that she had
was $33,000.
How many
That's
years
how
ago?
much, that's what she's paying 4 to 6 years ago.
4 to 6 years ago.
I mean, having been through plumbing repairs in the past, I was like, I wish I was there to help her, because I felt that someone else, if there was, but I knew because the daughter was out there, like she was just trying to hold on, right? Like the plumbing burst, the first guy that came took care of the plumbing.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly, at $33,000.
Right. And this and her car had just went, and it was just,
so you're there witnessing
fighting the tears. Yes.
The struggle is real.
Yeah. Well, you can see, I mean, let me say it this way. We've sold houses for hoarders. She's not a hoarder, but everything that she owned was inside the house. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was full when we got there. It was, and she's saying, I need what I call top dollar.